What's up, guys? I'm Mike D'Antonio, founder and CEO of StockedUp. Welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a great episode for you guys here today. The market didn't move too much today, except a couple specific industries, but overall, like the SPY, for example, kind of just stayed between a channel all day long. Pretty much didn't really move at all today. However, we did see some crazy movement after hours with stocks like Netflix. So Netflix reported earnings, and their earnings really weren't that bad. However, their stock absolutely tanked. So we do have a lot of great plays to share with you guys for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, the last trading day of the week. So hopefully we can get some good action with the market overall. Like we said, we had a pretty choppy day today. However, we are seeing some good movement in after hours. So that's some great news. If you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. So with that being said, Tom, what major news happened in the stock market today?
Yeah, the most major news was that Netflix fell 14% in after hours after an earnings miss. Like you said, the earnings were not too bad. They ended up having a 1.59 earnings per share, and they were estimated to have a 1.84. So, they didn't miss it by too much, but the thing was that they had bad subscriber guidance, and they even said that their growth is slowing as consumers get through the initial shock of COVID and social restrictions. And we can see on the 15-minute chart just gapped way down. But with a gap down like this big on a stock like Netflix, I would almost expect it to trade slightly higher in the morning. I think it could still fall a little bit, but I do expect it to kind of consolidate, kind of like it is right now in after hours.
Yeah, like you said, the earnings weren't terrible, but they definitely weren't great. Netflix did take a beating in after hours. And the thing is with this play, I had people asking me all day long, oh, Netflix is reporting earnings today. Should I buy calls? Should I buy puts? What should I do? And the thing is, market makers were expecting a 12% move to the upside or the downside with Netflix. So pretty much to calculate this move, you can either like programs like Thinkorswim or even E-Trade show those numbers on the options chain. But in a more simple way, you can just add up the at-the-money call price plus the at-the-money put price, and that'll give you approximately the market maker expectation. So for example, the market maker expectation for Netflix was around $44. Pretty much market makers are expecting less than a $44 move to the upside or the downside. And I feel like we are going to be within that $44 move by open. So the thing is with earnings plays like Netflix, the actual earnings release like we saw in after hours is pretty much impossible to predict. But it's a lot easier to predict the movement before earnings and the movement after earnings. So instead of trying to just gamble and play these options before earnings, you can just play the movement, or instead of trying to gamble and play the movement during earnings, you could either play the movement before earnings or after earnings. So for example, if Netflix continues downwards tomorrow, we will probably see a continuation downwards for a couple days, probably for the first half of next week. So we'll see what happens. But with earnings plays, I normally don't play them on the earnings release. But if I do, I almost always go with call credit spreads or put credit spreads. So with Netflix, in terms of the play after the earnings release, I will probably be eyeing out puts for like a couple weeks out. I didn't make any moves yet, but I'm just going to be eyeing them out for a continuation play.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then another stock that was moving in after hours today was also SPCE. We can see that they hit $20.50 in after hours and just exploded up. And right now they're hovering around $21.80 to $22 right now. And it looks like that they could be a nice continuation play in the morning as well. I ended up picking up a couple of calls on these guys at the end of the day because I really thought that they'd end up flying off of these technicals. So I'm really looking for a multi-day runner here. It was kind of a gamble. So this is not a stock that you really just want to get into tomorrow. Make sure it has the momentum. But SPCE has been a hot stock lately, and a lot of people have been trading it. And as we've seen, a lot of people have been buying calls on it as well.
Yeah, for sure. So there was some major resistance with SPCE around the $21.50 level, but at the high of day today with SPCE, we actually hit around $22.20. So that's a great sign. And you also had a ton of buying volume with SPCE. We had a huge relative, a great relative volume day. There was more volume than normal with SPCE, and the stock finished up about 13.5%. So definitely looks good, and I will definitely be eyeing that out too to the upside. What happened with cruise lines today?
Yeah, Mike, the CDC is actually going to ban cruises through September, and it was supposed to be they were banning them through the end of July, but now they're going to ban them through September, citing ongoing coronavirus outbreaks on ships. So expect stocks like RCL and CCL, like Carnival Cruise Line, and every other cruise line pretty much to be negatively impacted by this news. We do have a nice technical bounce on CCL as well. We can see that it's bouncing off of this nice technical here. And if we go out to a 6-month daily chart, we can see that we were talking about this in a video the other day, and we drew these technicals, and it looks like they hit this technical last night, and then they just fell down today. And this news might be a good catalyst for a continuation play to the downside on these cruise lines.
True. Yeah. So look at ticker symbols like CCL, RCL, and NCLH to the downside. Those are like the top three cruise lines to watch out for. NCLH took a beating today. They were down 15.5%. CCL down about 10%, and RCL down about 7.5%. So keep your eye out for that. They have a lot of downwards momentum, and they really have some solid downwards trends overall since the pandemic has started. So keep an eye out for that. I feel like this can definitely be some good shorts or put positions. I did not make any moves on it yet, but just based on their overall trend and the catalyst overall, it seems like this can be a continuation play. So keep that in mind. So now with today's Discord member of the day. Today's member of the day is Jaybird325. Jaybird has been a great member and asset to the Discord community for a while now. He's always active in the chat and providing great insight. So thank you, Jaybird, for being a great asset to the Discord community. So if you guys want to join the Discord community, you can click the first link in the description down below. So thank you, Jaybird, again. So now with today's momentum plays, and the first one is Microsoft. So Microsoft had a decent day to the downside, down about 2%. Overall, it's looking a little weak right now. It fell a little bit in after hours. So we are eyeing this play to the downside. Tom, what levels should we be watching?
Yeah, it looks like they hit $202 a couple days ago, so I would go ahead and watch for that solid price point.
For sure. So if it breaks below $202, we will be eyeing Microsoft to the downside. With the next ticker, we are looking at RCL.
Yep, for Royal Caribbean, go ahead and watch for them to fall below. Looks like in after hours they're going to keep falling, but I would say watch for 53.25.
Yep, 53.25 again to the downside. And last but not least, we are eyeing out Boeing. Ticker symbol BA.
Yep, watch for Boeing to go ahead and fall below 177.
Yep, 177 again to the downside. So now for today's unusual options activity. And actually, before we get into that, I just want to give a little bit more information with these momentum plays. We are only considering playing these plays if and only if they break the levels we list again to the downside. So if they do break below those levels, we'll be eyeing those stocks like for puts or shorting the stock. So keep that in mind. Again, only if they break the levels we list. So now for today's unusual options activity, we are looking at the DraftKings 40 strike calls that expire next Friday, July 24th. There's about $1.5 million put into this play. DraftKings had a really solid day in the market today, up about 9.5%, so that's solid. Be careful, just because there was about $1.5 million put into the play, that does not mean to just buy the play blindly. It's important to, you still have to do your own due diligence and watch for like technical breakouts and things like that. So I just want to let you guys know there's about $1.5 million put into the DraftKings 40 strike calls that expire next week, July 24th. So keep
Yeah, and
that.
I've had some technicals actually drawn on DraftKings for a long time, and it looks like that in after hours today, they're actually bouncing off of this top technical. So if it does break that, I would definitely consider DraftKings for a significant move back to the upside.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they do have a nice trend, like you were saying. Can you draw some like patterns or certain levels for people to be watching?
Yeah, they're right here on this 6-month daily chart. They're not too thick. Hang on, let me make them a little bit thicker here. Um, they'll be a little easier to see. But I see a really nice resistance level right now around $36 on it. I really like the $36 mark, around $36.12. It looks like they might break this. And if they do break this, I would watch for a big run to the upside. It's kind of like a nice little triangle play here. But the thing is that you're just looking for that main break above that upper mark on this because it's going to be very close to that. You're looking at a difference between $36 and $36.12. So not too big of a move, but it will break. And if it does break $36.12, that's when you should expect that big move to the upside because that was actually a low a few months or about half a month ago on June 8th. You could see that they actually came down and touched this about 3 different times and then ended up shooting back up. So right now we could expect this to maybe hit this and then fall or hit this and then fly right through. And it looks like these guys buying some calls might be showing that this might be a play going through the trend line.
For sure, for sure. So now with the questions from the previous episode, and with the first question, we have Chris saying, when you guys pick a day trade, how do you decide on the strike price? Do you usually do it the same way each time? So yes, so pretty much we always follow like the same format. And to be honest with you, Chris, the strike price doesn't really matter too much, especially for a day trade. So if you're gonna be in the trade for 20 or 30 minutes, the strike price doesn't really matter too much. But generally, this is what I aim for. Typically, except for Friday. So I don't like to trade options that expire on the same day. So if it's a Friday, I'll go to the next week's expiration. If it's any other day, I'll just trade the current week's expiration. So first I go to the date, which is, like I said, if it's most of the time, it's the current week's expiration. But if it's a Friday, I go 1 week out just to have that little bit more time. Then from there, I try to get as close to the money as possible. I never really go in the money. However, I do like to go at the money. So like if we're looking at, let's say we're looking at Apple, right? So right now, Apple is sitting around the $385 level. Let's say I am looking for Apple for puts. I would just buy like the 385 strike puts for Apple. If those are too expensive, like let's say you can't like afford the 385 strike puts for Apple, then just go 1 or 2 strikes out of the money, and that should do the job. The closer you get to the money, the more expensive it's going to be, but also the easier it will be to profit. So the closer you get to the money, the more the options are going to move like the stock. But also the closer you get to the money, the more the option is going to change, like if it goes in the other direction. So to be safe, you will always have like a safer route or safer trade the closer you get to the money with the most time. So try and get the most time as possible. Like in general with options, it's always great to get as much time as possible, as close to the money as possible, for as cheap as possible. That's definitely the 3 main keys to watch out for swing trading. But for day trading, you just kind of want to get as close to the money as possible with at least a day or 2 worth of time. So hopefully that answers your question. And great question. With the next question we have, we have Jazzy saying the MRNA options were no good, like you guys warned us about. I had one from the day before the news was announced, in my opinion, was in the negative over at least 8% increase in the stock price. So MRNA, how did that stock do today, Tom?
Yeah, they kind of popped it open, had a nice little pop, and then just went. They actually had a pop and then came down a little bit and then traded flat all day. So that flat trading for for most of the day is honestly what probably caused those options to go in the negative.
For sure. So what's your outlook on mRNA for like the next couple days or weeks, or what are you thinking? Like, I know it's a very volatile stock right now. I know it's one of the hottest stocks right now, especially with their vaccine news this week. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I have some solid technicals drawn on it right now. I really like the play with this trend line to the downside. It looks like it's breaking it and it's starting to come back up to the upside. And if it continues this upwards momentum in pre-market tomorrow, I could definitely see Moderna stock coming back up to highs of $90 plus, especially with the news of the vaccine. Everyone expected a pullback off of this big rise, and this is exactly what we like to see, a pullback and then a couple days of consolidation, and then maybe another rise up. And if we
Right.
do retest these highs, that's exactly what we want to see on this. And it might come up and hit this trend line, up here around like $92, $94, maybe if we see a big run on it. A big run, watch for it to hit 94. But if you want to be safe on it, watch for it to hit like 88 to 90.
Yeah, I can definitely see a retest of the $90 level. I don't think it's going to happen in one day, but over the course of like maybe until next week, I can definitely see a strong chance of it retesting the $90 level. With the next question, we have Skeezy saying, "Hey guys, what do you think of APHA, APHA? I've been tracking them as they moved sideways for a few weeks, and they are just starting to pop up." So APHA. Well, this is a pretty much a penny stock. We don't really trade penny stocks too much. It looks like it's, like you said, it's pretty sideways right now. Personally, I would never trade this just because it's like a penny stock, but we can definitely analyze the trend and do all that for you if Tom wants to give us some insight.
Yeah, it looks like they have a resistance on a 6-month daily chart around $5.30, and it looks like they're getting pretty close to that right now. So that would be the biggest key level I would watch for. But it looks like they have some solid stair steps upwards, and this could definitely have been a good stock to trade the past couple days. And it looks like that they're setting up to move up again tomorrow. Like this is a pretty bullish setup here, just based off of just price action and just eyeing technicals out here. But it looks like it would be a solid play for tomorrow as long as it breaks 523. But it's just one of those stocks that, if it falls down, like today, for example, it pretty much had a 5% move from the low to the high. And that's just a pretty high move for a regular stock.
Right, for sure, for sure. With the next question, we have Jared saying, "Keep up the great work, guys. What are your thoughts on McDonald's call?" So MCD, I mean, it looks pretty solid to me. Keep in mind, it is a value stock. So whether this thing goes up or down, it is going to be a slow mover. So it is a value stock. It's a slow mover, but they look pretty decent to me. I don't love them. I don't love the trend with McDonald's overall, but it looks good, but not great. I mean, I think like the main thing to watch out for is if we could break that high of this week, the $194 level. I think if we could break above that, I think we have a lot more room to run up, maybe to around the $203 level. With the next question, we have, let's see, we have Elijah saying, "Awesome insight on how you interpret implied volatility present versus past. Thanks, Mike and Tom." So thank you so much, Elijah, for that amazing comment. We have Raymond saying, "Love the show, guys. I found this stock called PLUG. I would like to know your thoughts about the stock overall." So PLUG, let me take a look at this. Let's see, PLUG. What do you think about PLUG, Tom?
Yeah, it looks like they're a manufacturer of hydrogen fuel cell systems that replace conventional batteries and equipment and vehicles powered by electricity. It obviously looks like a company that it's another one of those penny stocks that end up popping with all the other tech stocks that have been popping lately and Tesla. But it looks like that they have a nice run up to around $10.49. I really like what they do. I really think you guys should research the company. Just go ahead and Google PLUG stock and research them. It looks like they manufacture hydrogen fuel cell systems, like I said before. It looks like a pretty good stock, but the thing is that they're just up so high right now and they're so low of price that if they come back down to what they were a couple months ago, you're going to be down 50% on this if you bought shares.
Yeah, it looks like a giant high risk, high reward type play. I have not researched this company fundamentally. They seem to be doing pretty good though. So if you want to take a gamble on it, I think that could be okay. It just looks like a giant high risk, high reward
It looks
setup.
just like Tesla to me, almost like
It
almost an exact Tesla chart.
It looks similar, actually. It's actually a great point. So it does look very similar. Like I said, I have not researched this company fundamentally, but the trend is definitely there if you want to take a gamble on it for the long term. I mean, the trend is your friend, as they say, and it definitely has a solid uptrend. So thank you so much for that comment. So Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything to watch out for tomorrow?
Yep, the play I'm still watching, guys, is going to be Ford. They ended up popping again today, and we can see they are kind of heading back up towards the top of the trend line here. So I'm still looking for them to move between this gap, maybe up to around like $7.15. And Ford has had a nice daily move today on an intraday level, and they closed at highs, which is a good thing. You always like to see stocks close at highs and kind of form this nice little triangle I'm going to draw for you right here. Yep, just like that.
Yep, perfect. Yeah, you draw that on Tesla and it just kept going up and up and up?
Yeah, Tesla did this about it did it like 15 times in a row, or not 15, 3 times in a row, like about a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Like we did that for like 3 days in a row and it just kept breaking through those triangles every single day. So yeah, awesome stuff. Definitely a good setup on Ford. You've been calling out Ford since Monday or Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, I think it was Tuesday. So awesome job with that. And it looks like it's just gonna keep continuing up. So awesome job. So thank you so much for everyone who's been supporting the YouTube channel. Tom and I really appreciate all the support. Thank you for everyone who's been liking, subscribing, and commenting on the videos. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much for everyone who has been supporting the channel. Right now, Dow futures are up about 70 points. So we are still in that channel that on the SPY right now between around $319 and $320.50. We've been in this channel all day long. So once we get a break to the upside or the downside, there should be a lot more opportunity in the market tomorrow. We had a very choppy day, but it looks like we will have an exciting day tomorrow, especially with this Netflix catalyst. So thank you guys so much for everything. If you guys want to support the channel, please don't forget to hit that like button and comment down below. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.